All right, so this is our final example, and it has a little bit of everything. Graph y equals 2 sine of 2x plus pi minus 1. Whew, that's a lot to take in. Okay, so here's what we are going to do. We're going to start off the same way. We're going to start with just sine of x. Okay, let's pretend no other values are there and get the key points. Okay, so key points for sine. X values have always been the same. Pi, 3 pi halves, and 2 pi. Okay, where the y values, they start at 0, go up to 1, back to 0, down to -1, then 0. Okay, so there's my key points. Check. I need to now see if I need to adjust my key points. Okay, I'm going to start with the easiest one, which is this guy. Remember, amplitude doesn't affect what we input, it affects what's coming out of the function. So I need to change all my y values by multiplying them by 2. 0, 2, 0, -2, 0. Making that column obsolete. But this time, I have a value in front of my x. Yikes! Okay, how on earth does that affect everything on the x part of the key points? Because guess what? It's going to affect what we input. Remember how we did that little formula, 2 pi divided by b for the period? We're going to do the same thing here. Okay, so 2 pi divided by 2 means that my period is going to change to pi. So what I'm going to do, I'm also going to add in a column here, and I'm going to take my x value and divide it all by 2. So I'm going to have new x's and new y's. So 0 divided by 2 is 0. Pi halves divided by 2. Now you can use a calculator for this because your calculator is awesome. And it does these types of calculations, especially if you have a Casio. Some scientific calculators will actually do a simplified version. But remember that when we divide with a fraction, we gotta do copy dot flip. So this ends up becoming pi over 4. Now, if you need a refresher on how to do that, I would go back to one of the earlier lessons where I show you how that works. I'm not going to take the time to do it here because we've already covered it in a previous day of content. Okay, pi divided by 2 is pi halves. 3 pi halves will become 3 pi fourths. And this becomes pi. So what are we using then? We're using these new x values and these new y values. So I'm now going to plot those by making sure that I have all of this written down. 0, pi fourths, then pi halves, 3 pi fourths, and pi. I think I'm going to actually change this to pi halves instead of pi, since I have an adjusted period. Okay, so now, yeah, I think I'm changing that. Instead of it being pi, I'm going to change it to pi halves. Same idea, I promise. Okay, so now I need to plot my new x and y values. Okay, so 0, 0. Pi fourths 2. Pi halves 0. 3 pi fourths 2 pi 0. So the light pink x's that you see are my current key point values. They've already been adjusted. Okay, so you've done step 1, step 2, step 3. We now need to see if we have any shifts. Before we do that, I'm just going to quickly label the other part of the x-axis. I'm really bad at remembering to do this. we need to figure out what shifts we have. Okay, we've got this pi halves here. So when I go to shift this, I'm going to have to go to the left, pi halves units. Okay, what does that mean? I can't just go one tick mark over because one tick mark over is pi fourths. So 1, 2 tick marks over. And I also need to go down 1 unit because that -1 is on the outside of the function. Like I said, this literally has a little bit of everything. So let's move the function. Okay, 2 units over, and then down 1 unit. Okay, so where that dot is, that is my new 0, 0 point. Same thing here. Over 1, 2 units, and down 1 unit. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. So my new curve is going to be right there. And we are officially done graphing it. Now, I do want to put down my 2 cents here. I do want you to be very flexible in being able to do these types of graphs. And I also want to point out the following. When you do the Desmos activity, it does not accommodate this very well, unfortunately. The way how I'm going to write out these equations, this value right here, your b value, is never going to be with the x inside the parentheses. Never. It gets very confusing when it is there, and you're going to have to do some extra math to try and get the correct left-right transformation. On Desmos, it's going to make you do that, but please know that I'm never, ever, ever going to make you guys do anything like that. It's going to be very straightforward. That's it for today, guys.